Go hard, or go home. Go home. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Yeah, these are championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then a double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Ricks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, when the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard.
Let's go.
Go home. Go hard. Go.
I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to
Let's
back.
go.
If I top the top, then a double back.
Yay!
Hey, episode 23 at the bottom, or 33, sorry, at the bottom line. My name is Flo. That guy over there, that's Canteen. We're here talking a little sports with you. Like, share, do all that good stuff. We appreciate you. Hey, let's get it going, Canteen. Let's go hard or go home, baby. All right, let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, we appreciate you watching the show. Please like, share, do all that good stuff. And we got a Twitch follower, or he ain't here today. We ain't got our faithful Twitch follower, but we got somebody watching right now. We appreciate you. Like, share, do all that good stuff. We appreciate you coming on, watching the show. Share this stuff. Good week. You having a good week so far? Everything going all right?
Good week, man. Winter's in the air, man.
Winter is in the air.
Yeah, it's in the air, man. Good
Yeah,
comedy
especially
show.
down
Good
there,
weekend.
especially down there where you're in your neck of the woods, New York. Kind of, it can be cold there. You be freezing pretty soon over there.
Yeah, man. It's about
Up
to
in
get
that
cold,
New
bro.
York area. Hey, well, welcome to our Twitch guys here. We appreciate our watcher from Twitch who always comes on and watches us. He or she, whoever it might be. Appreciate you so much. So we got 700. We made up to 700 in the Facebook group. Hey, go follow us on YouTube also. We come live on YouTube. Mostly YouTube, it's all just live, but we got like a page on Facebook that we have all kinds of sports and trash talk and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so we appreciate everybody liking, sharing, doing all that good stuff. We appreciate you. So I'm 5-0 in the fantasy football. Yeah. And what are you now in the fantasy football? Not too bad. All right, yeah, I think Les is 4-1. He's doing good. I don't even know if he's trying, but Les is looks pretty good. Drew, the resident Charger fan, he's 5-0 also. I think his team's called Greatness. And Chaplain Kim, one of our chaplains, is in there. He's 4-1. So yeah, pretty fun stuff with the fantasy football. Join next year if you want to do a fantasy football. So we just going through talking a little baseball, a little NBA, a little NCAA football, a little basketball, a little NFL here in a minute. So the MLB Major League Baseball divisional round is on. Astros and the Mariners. Astros up 2-0 in that series. Who do you like in that series? The Astros and the Mariners are.
Man, I'll be
up. Yeah.
Man, I think the Astros are going to close them out tonight, man.
You think so?
I really do. I think they look really good. The first 2 games they played phenomenal, and I don't see much room for the Mariners to improve anyway. So I really think that Houston will take it out tonight.
Yeah, I think the Astros pretty much have the most talented group out there. If they can put it all together, I think they'll be in the World Series. I think the Astros. God. Yeah, I think the Astros might be in the World Series this year. But they should close that out soon. They got the Phillies and the Braves. What's that score on that? Their Phillies are up 2-1. I know they're playing right now. You got an update on that score right now?
2-1. Top of the 7th. The Phillies are up 7-3 over the Braves.
Oh,
I think the Phillies gonna close
7-3. Yeah, it looks like the Phillies might close out that series and move on
tonight.
to the next round. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Yankees and the Guardians, it's tied 1-1. Who do you like there in that Yankees Guardians?
Man, I like the Guardians, man. The Guardians,
really?
They're a sleeper team, man. Yeah.
You think they'll pull it off against the Yankees, the mighty Yankees? Man, wouldn't that be something?
That one may go 5 games. 5 games.
Oh, you think? Oh, okay. I might agree with you. The Yankees are kind of scrappy.
Yeah,
I mean, the Guardians.
Games.
The Guardians are kind of scrappy. They're a scrappy group. And I think Aaron Judge, he went like 0 for 5 or something the other day, or he didn't get any hits or anything the other day. So we'll see. He needs to come through in the playoffs if he wants to be up there with the greats, man. This is when you come in and you in October and really play well. So he needs to show up in the playoffs. Hey, let us know who you think is going to win these series. Comment and all that good stuff. Let us know who you think is going to win. We'll put the comments, see if anybody wants to comment. But so we got and then also we got the Dodgers and the Padres. I believe the Dodgers are up 2-1 in that series, right? Or 2-0? I have a typo here.
Padres up 2-1.
2-1. Okay, so the Padres are up. Oh, is it the Padres up?
Padres up. Yeah.
I must put a typo. Yeah, the Padres up 2-1 in that series. Who do you like there?
Padres gonna close them out tonight.
Oh, you can close them out tonight? I think that one might go 5. I think that one might go 5. I think it might go 5. I feel like the Dodgers got a little left in the tank. They might see what happens in Game 5, and you never know, right? All right, let us know what you think of the divisional playoffs going on right now. Just touching base on some of that stuff and just trying to see what's going to happen in the playoffs there in the Major League Baseball. For all you baseball fans, I guess Canteen's probably a little bigger baseball fan than me. But we try and touch on all the sports, Give everybody
But the Braves
some love.
ain't looking good, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Braves may be going home, man.
You might be right. All right, let's talk about a little NBA. So Draymond Green, we saw that last week. We showed the Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole. And it comes out that the team will not suspend him. Of course, the NBA really doesn't have any say-so in practice. But they did fine him an undisclosed amount. What's going to come out of this? Any thoughts on this whole Draymond Green drama thing? Draymond Green. Let us know what you think in the comments.
I will say that, man. What Draymond Green did was wrong, man. It was the time and place or anything like that in practice. And then what happens is most people it got captured on social media. So I think it was completely wrong. I think them giving us some time to cool off, leave practice, and come back. Fine him. I think he'll bounce back and he'll be fine.
Okay. You don't think that the Warriors might have released that video, leaked it out? I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty sure they did, man.
Okay. So you think they leaked it as a way of punishment for him, or do you think they leaked it for ulterior motives?
Motives. They had a motive in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some people speculating that they're trying to, at some point get rid of Draymond.
Yeah.
That they don't want to sign him. He didn't sign his extension, and I don't think they're going to pay him big money.
Nah.
So maybe this is a way to say, hey man, we'll see you later. I mean, but because to be honest, Draymond Green fits that team really well, and I don't know what other team he fits with.
I mean, I don't foresee him.
It's
hard for me to say where he would go.
Right.
I mean, Golden State is like the only place I see that he meshes well with the team. Yeah.
He's the kind of the enforcer. He has that little, drop off, to the 3-pointer that he gets to Steph and Clay. I mean, he helps facilitate some of the offense, but I don't know that he's worth what he wants in Golden State as far as, the amount of money he wants. So I don't know. Maybe Golden State's trying to find a way out of paying him. I don't know. Who knows? So let us know what you think about that. All right, so Russell Westbrook, I don't know if you saw that scene when he was, they were all huddled up and Russell was off to the side, not even paying attention to that huddle. My boy, now I can't even think of his name. What's the guy that joined the LA? Pat Beverly, man, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
You like that guy? Why? What?
I mean, he's just scrappy. I like him. He's got good defense. Everywhere he goes, they win. I don't know. But anyway, we all know that they were in this huddle, and then Westbrook was off to the side, didn't look interested in what he had to say, and so recently, Darvin Ham comes out that he convinced Westbrook to come off the bench recently, and so they're gonna try that. I mean, what's the conclusion here with Westbrook? I mean, are they trying to get rid of him by the trade deadline? You think they're just trying to work with him? What do you think is going to happen here? I don't know.
I really think the Lakers are trying to do a realignment. It's not like a demotion. I saw what Ham said. He's not trying to demote him, but he's trying to put him in a position where they can realign with him. But then he got hurt last night too.
Right.
He had a hamstring injury last night, so
right.
It's gonna be it's gonna take a lot to get rid of him. And what are the Lakers willing to give up? I mean, they got to pay him a big deal, like over 70-something million.
Well, you got to get somebody to pick up his contract, willing to take up that contract. I mean, I think it's only 2-year deal or something that left on his contract.
Yeah, 2 years.
Is it 2 years? I don't know, but he's got a little bit left. I mean, I don't know. So you think they're gonna try and work with him? They're not trying to. Some people are saying they're trying to trade him by the deadline.
As I said, man, who's gonna take up all that slack and pick him up, man?
And it's tough, because he's been a starter all his career. It's hard for Westbrook to go back and now he's gonna be basically a bench player. But the way I look at it, if Westbrook, to me, if he had kind of embraced it for the rest of the season, and hey, you got an MVP, right? You went to the finals, you didn't win one, but you got he got a couple MVPs, right? He's got I know he's got he did averaging the double for a season. He's like one of the first guys in a long time to do that. He's got that MVP. So what I'm saying, maybe he should embrace it, and maybe he should become like sixth man of the year. Maybe if he could embrace it.
Right. I think it would be a good
and that would
move
still
for
be
him.
an achievement. I mean, because you look at the NBA, a lot of great six men come in and become sixth man of the year, and he could show that he's fitting in. He could really contribute to that. I mean, you're not going to get Westbrook of what you're used to getting, but maybe he's coming in to give him a spark off the bench, being that sixth man of the year, and going for that award. That would be a good award to have, especially this stage of his career. Where he's coming off the bench. I mean, he could still be a starter somewhere else, but I don't know. I think if he embraces it, maybe he could, come out, getting an award like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally agree with you on that, man.
Yeah. All right. So Ben Simmons finally playing some games with the Nets. He held Giannis to 0 for 10 or something. I mean, he was playing pretty good defense on Giannis the other night. Make a couple of shots. He had a crazy shot one night. He made a few shots. He's playing good defense. He's a good distributor of the ball. So you think Ben Simmons finally playing with Kyrie and KD, you think he'll make a difference this year for them as far as, making a legitimate run at the playoffs, maybe a top 3 or 4 seed? I don't know. What are you thinking Ben Simmons can make a difference there? What are you thinking?
Man, I really feel good about Simmons, man, how he's looked over the past few preseason games, and I think he's going to make a huge difference.
Okay. You think he's really going to be able to contribute?
And Durant. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because there was so much drama with that team on the offseason.
And the biggest thing is he's kind of meshed well and gotten into the system, so I think he's in a rhythm, and I think he can be consistent and make some things happen with the team.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let us know what you think if Ben Simmons can get in there and make a contribution. I feel like he's finally on the court, right? Last year he didn't play at all. It's been almost 2 years. A year and a half he hasn't really played, gotten on the court. Some kind of back injury last year. Everybody thought he was just scared to play and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. But, yeah, so it's just one of those things, he comes in, contributes, and just be Ben Simmons. Play good defense, distribute the ball, shoot it when you can. And I think they can make a big difference for the Nets this year. I think they can make a push for that, maybe be in the top 3. If Ben Simmons plays well, I mean, he played Giannis. He's probably the only guy that's played Giannis that well on defense and defensively, one-on-one. And so if he can slow down Giannis in that, in the East, he can probably be especially in the playoffs. I can come in handy in the playoffs if they ever meet up. I'm sure at some point they could meet up in the playoffs. The Bucks versus the Nets somewhere. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of exciting to see what he'd be able to do with the Nets. Let us know what you think on that. We're just trying to talk a little NBA preseason. Is preseason over? It's about to be over, right?
Yeah, man. They're winding down, man.
They're winding down, and then we got all those Christmas games, and I think there's a Thanksgiving game now. I don't know.
Yeah, they got Christmas, Thanksgiving, MLK weekend. Tennessee just scored.
Kicking off again. Wow. So we're talking about NCAA. Speaking of NCAA football, I think it's time for that segment we all love to talk about here in the bottom line. So, are you ready?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. It's time for the segment we've all been waiting for. Here on the bottom line, it's Canteen's College Contender. All right, Canteen, what you got?
All right, man. So at 1, got Alabama, man. Alabama. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So at number 1, we got Alabama.
Okay.
Alabama ain't looking good right now. Tennessee's putting some numbers up against them.
Right.
So I feel that big shift in this number 1.
Okay. Big shift for you. Okay.
Absolutely. So let's go with number 2. Number 2 is Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia's having homecoming in Athens. Georgia looks phenomenal.
This should be good for them. A good
28-0. 28-0. I think we may cover the spread today.
You might cover the spread.
Might cover the spread today, baby.
Who knows? We'll see.
Hopefully. Cover the spread.
I think y'all covered last week too, right? I think y'all covered last week.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure. I hope we cover today.
All right.
Ohio State. They're not too much because they got a bye. But we'll let Ohio State stay where they're going to stay at. At 4, I believe we have Michigan. I think Michigan at 4 or Clemson at 4.
Yeah.
Clemson got Florida State tonight. I think
Clemson's
a good
game.
That's going to be a really, really good conference game for them. And it's at Florida State, so Clemson got to bring their A game to play against those guys. And last but not least, the Wolverines stomp. They stomp.
They look really good today. They look really good.
I think this whole 1 through 5 is going to be shaken up and it's going to transform next week. But that's my contender. That's what we got, baby.
Hi, it's Canteen's College Contender. All right, Canteen. All right. So I think the biggest thing I see here. Most people have Ohio State already at number 3. I think I would have had probably Michigan going into this week at number 4, Clemson number 5. I think they did struggle last week. I probably would have had Georgia number 3 and have Ohio State number 2. Even though Alabama, that's what I would have had. I'm probably going into this week. I think I would have had that.
All right.
Going into this week, I would have had Alabama, Ohio State, and then Georgia. We'll see what they do against Tennessee because they have a big test against Tennessee this week. They're the ones really playing the toughest game this week, right? Number 6 Tennessee team who looks pretty good this year.
They look good, man.
Number 8 in the coaches poll, but they're number 6. Tennessee wins this game, they may jump into the top 5, maybe over Clemson, depending on how Clemson does, right? If they beat Alabama, don't you think Tennessee deserves at least a consideration for the top 5, right?
Man, if Tennessee wins, they're going to be in the top 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They're definitely going to be in the top 5.
Yeah. So that Alabama-Tennessee game is going on right now. Of course, Clemson plays Florida State. Let us know what you think, who your top 5 is going into this season. Into this week. Of course, Alabama struggling. Your boy Hurd, he crying in his towel right now.
28-10 right now. 28-10.
Wow. So going into the not even halftime yet.
It ain't halftime yet, man.
Yeah. So your boy Hurd, man, he's hurting. I'm telling you right now, man. Oh man, you gonna mess with him hard if he loses. I know.
Man.
I already know.
Hey, delete your Facebook, delete your social media, because I haven't come for you all year. Oh, matter of fact, he called me.
Did he call you?
He called
What'd
me
he say?
earlier.
Okay.
FaceTime and talking trash. I'm like,
okay.
bro, y'all are not. Y'all ain't gonna be.
I'm surprised he didn't say much. He didn't. I made a comment on his Facebook and I said, "Hey, y'all might lose today. We'll have to wait and see." And he just said, "I hope not." he didn't talk no smack to me. Usually he says, he comes back with something when I tell him something about his Crimson Tide. So it's not looking good right now, man. 28-10.
28-10,
man,
bro.
We'll see, man. I mean, they could come back. I mean, this is what's his name? What's their quarterback's name? God,
Bryce Young?
Yeah, Bryce Young. He's barely coming back, so he might be a little rusty. He's coming back off of injury. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Alabama could come back in the second half. Alabama always comes back. They're going to try and make it close. I feel like Alabama's going to make it close. When is the last time you seen Alabama get blowed out? You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's probably been
a while.
You know what
I'm saying? I just never seen that. So part of me feels like they're going to come back and make a game out of it at least, So we'll see, man. That'd be a big loss. It'd be a big loss, big loss. All right, so let's go into it. We talked a little football already. So we got Penn State and Michigan, like you were saying. Man, talk about that game. Penn State and Michigan, they throttled them in that game. What were your thoughts there as far as Michigan? This is probably the best they've looked all year. Go ahead.
Michigan has looked phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal, man.
They looked awesome.
Phenomenal, man. I would say the quarterback they got, man, that kid went 17 for 24, 145 yards, and
right,
one interception. But they got a kid named Edwards, the running back, 16 carries, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Right. Yeah.
And then one receiver, Johnson.
If they can keep running the ball like that
on the ground,
I feel like that's their key to success in that game. I know they got that McCarthy kid, but I think running the ball for them, that's their key to success. They had 2 guys go over 100 yards. At Corum had 166. Edwards had 173. I mean, they were just running up and down on Penn State. Kind of a shocker. I thought Penn State would give them a better game, even though they were 5-1. They're still number 10. Man, they didn't even give them a challenge. I mean, they just ran all over them. 418 yards total rushing for the Wolverines. They just ran all over Penn State today. So I feel like Michigan may go up top 3. If Alabama loses, Michigan may bump up to 3, maybe even number 1. I don't know if they'll bump you guys out, but
no,
it's possible. I mean, think about it. They beat a top 10. You guys are beating Vanderbilt.
You're right.
So I could see them jumping to number 1 after this weekend, especially if Alabama loses. You know what I'm saying? If Alabama wins, I feel Alabama might go to number 1, beating a top 5 team. And then Michigan, and you guys might be at 3 after this weekend.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I can dig that.
That's what I'm thinking as far as the AP poll. But we'll see what happens. And then Tennessee might be at 5 at some point and, might bump Clemson out of the top 5. But, yeah, that'll be good. I don't know. It all depends. Like I said, that Tennessee game is going to determine a lot for the top 5, whatever happens between Alabama and Tennessee. So Oklahoma State and TCU, they're playing right now on ABC. You got an update score on that one, or you want me to pull it up?
Oklahoma State, TCU.
Yeah, it was a good
that
game.
Score right now. I just had it. 24-7.
Okay, so TCU
State.
struggling in that game. Oklahoma State looks good. So Oklahoma State could jump into that top 6, 7. Maybe depending on if Alabama loses, they might be in that. They might take Tennessee's spot at number 6.
And then Oklahoma State is undefeated too.
That's what I'm saying. So that'll put them in position to move up if somebody falters in that top 5. I think they might. Oklahoma State, if they win this game convincingly like they are, they continue to win, they may get around top, number 6 or so. Especially if Tennessee loses. To me, if Tennessee loses or wins, I think Tennessee moves up if they win, and of course they move down out of the top 6, and I think they get replaced by Oklahoma State.
If Tennessee loses, how far you think they'll drop? Like 10 or 12?
No, I don't think they'll drop them that far. I mean, because if they lose, they're going to lose a close one, right? And they were winning by halftime, it depends what happens in the last 8 minutes, but they're winning 28-10. Let's just assume that Alabama maybe, makes a touchdown and gives it an 11-point game. But even if they lose a close game to Alabama, I don't see Tennessee dropping maybe a couple, 2, 3. I think this will be 8. Yeah,
8 or 9?
Yeah, I think they swap with maybe Oklahoma State. They go to 8. Oklahoma State comes up to 6. That's my thoughts. But Alabama, Tennessee, they're losing right now. It's 8 minutes left in the second quarter. 28-10.
Touchdown,
Alabama can come back. You didn't come back. Oh, they touchdown.
They just scored 16.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. If Alabama comes back, 11-point game. That's feasible now. It all depends if Tennessee can score again. That's the thing, right? If Tennessee has to keep the pressure up on Alabama, make them have to score, right? Because if Tennessee, let's say they go 3 and out, Alabama gets on the field goal. That now it's 20-10. 28. So one score game going into halftime, man. Alabama feels pretty good at that point, and then Tennessee probably feels like, man, we might lose this game now. So So also you got another big game, probably Mississippi State and Kentucky. Kentucky is a 3.5-point underdog at home. Kentucky kind of been a little bit of a skid lately, but they've played some tough games. Mississippi State looking pretty good under our former coach. I guess Mike Leach is out there. He's their number 16. Who do you like in this game? Right? I mean, the experts say Mississippi State should win this game.
Man, when I look at Mississippi State this year, who they played, man, they beat up on Arkansas pretty bad.
Right.
They beat up on Texas A&M.
Right. Who gave Alabama a good game.
Yeah.
Right.
So man, I probably got to go with Mississippi State at this point, man. They play better teams. But then if I look at Kentucky now, I'm not gonna count Kentucky out because Kentucky lost, and I gambled money and I lost with South Carolina. Well, Kentucky lost to South Carolina. I bet with Kentucky, but they beat Florida pretty good, man. So when I look at strength of schedule, man, I gotta lean more toward Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State the better team, and the strength of schedule is a whole lot better. Kentucky's only played South Carolina and Florida, and they beat Florida, but they lost to South Carolina. So I'm gonna go with Mississippi State in a close one.
You think they
tonight?
Okay. You think Mississippi State wins a close game?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that happen. I can see that happening. So Ole Miss took care of Auburn, also 48-34. Ole Miss is kind of in the mix. They're undefeated. They're in the top. They're number 9, so they could kind of slide up depending on what happens at Tennessee. If Tennessee loses, they might kind of move up. Oklahoma State might move up. We know Michigan's probably going to move up the way they dismantled Penn State. And so we'll see what happens. Also, but another team that people aren't really talking about in this mix, USC is 6-0, sitting at number 7. They're playing Utah today. Utah's an underdog in this game. I didn't have this on the sheet, but what are you thinking of USC and how they look? And if they beat Utah, they may slide up a spot or two, huh?
When I take the point spread 3.5, Utah 3.5 favorite.
Yeah.
Man, USC, man. Let me look at their track record. I mean, USC they
got Lincoln Riley as a new coach there.
They played pretty good against Fresno State. They beat Stanford up pretty bad. Washington State, Arizona State. So they played pretty good. Now looking at
they
Utah,
he brought his quarterback with him.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley brought his quarterback from Oklahoma, Caleb Williams. He's pretty solid. He hasn't done super great, but he's got 14 touchdowns, only 1 interception. So he hasn't thrown a bunch of yards, but he's got a lot of touchdowns. He's looked pretty good. He's been under Lincoln Riley for the last few years, when he was in Oklahoma. So I could see them making some noise in the top 5. If they dismantle the Utes. If they struggle with them, maybe not. But if they win pretty convincingly, that could be a team that kind of slides up in that top 5. Yeah. I'm going
with Utah, man. I'm going with Utah.
Oh, you say Utah for the upset?
3 at home. Wow. They're gonna beat them at home.
Okay. I see that. I think USC is going to take care of the Utes. I just see USC has got some momentum going. I feel like Caleb Williams is playing fairly to really well. He's completing a lot of his passes. I think he's at 60-something% for completion. 265 yards per game. He's only got 1 interception, so he's taking care of the ball. So he's got 64%, completion rate. So I feel like they're going to start hitting their stride, USC, and they may make a push for that top 5. If one of you guys falter in the top 5, whether it be, because, Ohio State and Michigan are going to play each other at some point.
At the end of the season.
Yeah, and so that could, if USC stays in striking distance at number 6, 5, 6, somewhere in there, they could jump in there at the end of the year,
Correct.
With Michigan or Ohio State losing that game, whoever loses that game. All right, so let us know what you think. A lot of good football this weekend. Vanderbilt, of course, they may end up covering the 37-point spread. So they always win, but they just can't cover them easily. But yeah. And my team, Texas Tech Red Raiders, they got a bye this week, so they'll be off. They need some rest. The freshmen look good. The true freshman played last week. Morton, he actually played pretty well, but he got dinged up a little bit, so good thing he's got a week off. We'll see what happens. I don't know if Tyler Shuck's going to be ready to come back next week. He had that broken collarbone at the first game of the season, so we'll see what happens. Tyler Shuck, I think, is our best chance at quarterback if Texas Tech can get him back, so we'll see what happens. So, all right. Anything else, NCAA? We're going to move on to football. What are you thinking? Anything else?
Man, I think Tennessee about to score again.
Oh, wow.
I think about to score again, bro.
All right, it's time for a new segment that I like to call Flows. NFL. The flow chart. NFL flow chart after week 5.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, so here we're going to do NFC first. Here's my top teams based on just what I think. It could be based on not necessarily your standings, but just who I think is the top team in each conference. So we're going to go to NFC first. NFC is probably the weaker conference. Most people consider that the weaker conference. So the first team, I got the Eagles on top. They're undefeated right now. They're playing pretty well. They're pretty solid across the board. They got a pretty good defense. They're pretty good on offense. They probably got a better running game than anything else. Jalen Hurts has done better as a passer, right? He's better as a passer than the last year, so he's kind of come around, right, as a passer a little bit. But he struggled a couple games back, and so I still got him number 1 because they're undefeated. I think that really says a lot at this point of the season. But we'll see what happens. So I got them at number 1 right now. They're kind of the top team in the NFC. And then behind them, I have the Minnesota Vikings, surprisingly, right? I think the Minnesota Vikings have played really well. They did lose a game early in the season. But I think for the most part that I think Minnesota has played really well. I think, I don't know what it is about Monday Night Football or primetime games and, Kirk Cousins just struggles for whatever reason.
Yep.
In primetime games. It just, I don't know what it is. And so they lose that one primetime game against Philadelphia, but they lost against a good team, right? They lose against Philadelphia. So that I don't really count that against them, right? Because they lost against Philadelphia, even though they didn't play well. So I got them at number 2 in the NFC. And then after that, San Francisco 49ers. I feel like the 49ers have a really good defense. I feel like their defense is solid across the board. Jimmy G has been playing pretty well. His first game, he struggled a little bit, because he hadn't really practiced with them, right? So I feel like, Jimmy G, now that he's gotten more practice time, he knows he's going to be the starter. Unfortunately, Trey Lance got hurt, right? But I feel like he's starting to come in as a starter. He's starting to feel better about himself. They dispatched of Carolina pretty good. They beat the Rams pretty well, and they go and play Atlanta. So this is going to be a good test for them because I think Atlanta is a pretty good defensively, and you guys can run the ball. So we'll talk about that game later. But right now I got the 49ers at number 4. And then Tampa Bay Bucks. I think the Bucks, same thing. They got a great defense. They've been injured on offense. They're still trying to find themselves on offense. Leonard Fournette still looks pretty good. He's been banged up on and off during the season. But I feel Tom Brady's going to kind of start getting it together towards the end of the season, figuring out the protections. He's been sacked more than normal. So I feel like Tampa Bay is still right there. I almost put the Cowboys there, but I didn't want to seem too biased. I think I couldn't put the Cowboys there because I'm not sure about Cooper Rush still. I'm not convinced. Even if he wins this weekend, I just think that I still think Dak is the better quarterback. So if they had Dak and they were playing this way, I would probably put them at number 4. But how about the Bucs there? So what do you think of the NFC?
You are right on, man. If I had to make one adjustment,
right,
I probably would move San Fran in front of the Vikings. But the Vikings got a good record. But I like the way that the San Fran is playing on both sides of the football. Right now, hands down, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. There is no doubt about it.
Okay.
And as you said about Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's taking a lot of hits this season.
Right.
And their offense has been hard for them to click. Yeah, but the defense looks good for them too. So
and they've had some injuries at the receiver and slot, And then, of course, Evans was suspended for that one game, and so that hurt him as well. All right, so let's go to the AFC. So top right now, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. They're well-rounded. They're a lot like the Eagles in that they've got pretty good in all phases of the football, all 3 phases of football. And especially on the defense, they've looked really good on defense. I got them in my fantasy league on the defense, so they play really well. And on offense, they've done really well. They struggled a little bit in a couple games, but for the most part, I feel like they're still playing well. I don't know. I think this is going to be a big game this weekend for them to kind of determine who's really going to be number 1. Buffalo, pretty much, and they proved at least one thing, I think, lately, and this is what put them at number 1 for me, is that they won a close game, right, against Baltimore a couple weeks ago. And so that's been their thing. They can't win the close games, and they won a close game, so I give them a little credit for that. They did lose to Miami in a close one, and I think that could be an anomaly, but Miami was looking good at that point, so I don't hold that too much against them. And then number 2, I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I think the Achilles heel for the Chiefs is the defense. Between the 20s, it seems like the defense gives up quite a bit with the Chiefs. The offense can keep up with anybody in the league, but the defense sometimes gives up too many big plays. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel about this Kansas City, is that the offense is probably comparable to the Bills, but the defense is where I have a little bit of concern for them. But they have such a good, I think Patrick Mahomes, they're underdogs this week at home. He plays really well when he's an underdog. So, but I still got the Chiefs at 2. I think they're pretty solid. They're good enough on defense. Right now, Baltimore, I got them at number 3 right now. Lamar Jackson looked pretty well. He did have a one game where he struggled and didn't play as well against New England. Of course, they lost against Buffalo, but they played pretty good. It was a close game, like I said. Cincinnati, it was a close game, and they won that game. They pulled it out. And so I think Lamar has looked pretty well. He's been able to throw the ball more. He's been able to run and keep himself fairly healthy. That's been the thing with Lamar. Sometimes he gets banged up, and then that's when they start to struggle. But Baltimore's been pretty banged up this year again, and they've still played pretty well and been able to win some of those close games. That's where I got the Baltimore at number 4. And then the LA Chargers, maybe a surprise. I got them at number 4. I just think they're pretty solid across the board. Yeah, I think they're pretty solid across the board. I think they played pretty well. They had a couple tough games. I know that Herbert has been banged up, right? I had them picked as possibly winning the AFC West and challenging Kansas City for the AFC West. I still think they could do that. They played a close game against Cleveland last week. 10-point game against Houston, but like I said, Herbert's been banged up. They did lose against Jacksonville, but Jacksonville looked pretty good there. That's my only concern. Jacksonville beat them, but Jacksonville has a good defense, and that just could have been, like I said, Herbert got, and after that Kansas City game, he was kind of injured with his ribs. So, if you don't have your quarterback, you're going to struggle as a team. But overall, I think as Herbert gets more and more healthy, hopefully he doesn't get, injured anymore. I feel like he's number 4. That's my AFC. That's the flow chart according to Flo. What do you think? You got any concerns with the AFC?
I disagree with you on one thing.
Okay.
Everything is perfect for the AFC, And I understand why I kind of see why you didn't put in Miami. Miami's a really, really good team, 3-2.
Right.
Even with Tua's injury. But Miami took 2 tough blows when they lost to Cincinnati.
Right.
They lost to Cincinnati 27-15, but then they got blown out.
Right.
They got blown out by the Jets last week, so I kind of understand why you didn't put Miami there. But everything else looks good.
Right.
Yeah, everything else I like.
Yeah. All right. So that's let me know what you think. The flow chart. That's what I got. Number 1 through 4, based on who I think is the best team right now. It was tough. The NFC's tough because it's just so garbled up right now. No one's really standing out over there. I mean, to me, the NFC East, who everybody thought was weak, they're the ones that were standing out this year. So I don't know. I couldn't put all NFC teams over there. NFC East teams, I felt like I'd be a little biased. I tried to be as unbiased as I could. So that's why I put Tampa Bay, because I think that Tampa Bay and San Francisco are still solid, and they've been playing well lately. Tampa Bay looks better on offense lately a little bit, but they both have really good defenses, San Francisco and Tampa Bay. And Dallas is right there. I think, Dallas, to me, moves in if they beat Philadelphia coming up this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So that's it. Let us know what you think. Your top on each one. You can let me know you disagree, agree with me, but that's what I got right now. So, all right. That's it. That's NFL Flow Chart Introduction, brought to you by Toyota. Our new sponsors, Toyota, giving us movement for life. Toyota. I'm just kidding. I don't have any sponsor, but it'd be fun to have one. So if anybody wants to sponsor the show, let us know. All right, so move on. So what do you think? Let's wrap up Thursday Night Football. What do you think about Thursday Night Football? I mean, the Commanders versus the Bears. Any final thoughts on that game from Thursday night?
Absolutely one of the worst Thursday night games I've ever seen. But I don't think it was as bad as I think the week before. It was a horrible game. Who played the week before them?
It was the Broncos and I can't remember who they played.
The Broncos played
the Colts.
The Colts. That was a horrible one. But this game here was a lot better.
It was a little better. Yeah, it wasn't quite as embarrassing. That other game, it felt like this one felt more like the defenses were actually having part of the reason that the score was low, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I feel like the offenses just weren't doing. They just couldn't.
Cannot move the football.
Offenses just didn't look good. So, yeah, I mean, there were similar scores. I mean, this was 12-7 this weekend. Commanders win 12-7 against the Bears, and last week it was like 12-9. So these Thursday night scores are turning into just ugly games. I don't know who plays next Thursday, but I haven't even looked at it. But man, these Thursday
Cardinals
night
and
games,
Saints. Cardinals and Saints play this week.
So maybe that'll be a good game on Thursday. So, I mean, they both need a win for sure. So that could be a good game. I don't know if Winston's coming back. Have you heard anything about Winston's? Any updates about him coming and playing Thursday?
He should be back Thursday night.
He should be back. So that should make it a little more interesting. We'll see what happens. It'll be a short week for both. I think the Saints play on Sunday and then they turn around and play Thursday. They play Saints play the Bengals. And then who do the Cardinals play?
Cardinals play Seattle.
Seattle. So they both got a short turnaround. If they both win, I think this will make that a little more interesting for Thursday Night Football. We'll see what happens. So, all right, so let's go into NFL, make a few predictions. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Share this content. We appreciate everybody. And so I want a game that's interesting now. It maybe wouldn't have been interesting a few weeks ago, but the Jets 3-2 at the Packers at 3-2. The Packers are 7.5 points favorites at home, but both teams are 3-2. Who would have thought the Jets would be 3-2 at this point? Jets seem to be getting better, making some strides. Packers still haven't kind of hit their. I mean, they're still struggling on offense a little bit, but they're both 3-2. One's kind of on the upswing. The Jets, I feel, are a little bit on the upswing, and the Packers are still kind of like trying to find themselves. What are your thoughts on this game? Packers are 7.5 point favorites at home. What's your thoughts here?
I told you last week I'm going with the underdog, man. I'm going with the Jets. The Jets look phenomenal last week, man. And now Flacco's, man, a lot of people counted Joe Flacco out, but he looked really good. I think he's going to do good tomorrow. And I think their defense is going to show up, man. They really showed me a different New York Jets team when the way they beat Miami last week. Green Bay been struggling, man. Yeah, Green Bay been struggling all season, man.
Right. But I think Zach Wilson is back, so. I think didn't Zach Wilson play last week? I think Zach Wilson played last week, to be honest.
Yeah, Wilson did, yeah.
Wilson played last week, right?
Yeah, Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, and they looked pretty good against. I mean, Miami, of course, is struggling because they don't have a quarterback right now. But 40-17, 40-17. I think they played last week, and they've actually looked pretty good. They brought some weapons. You know, Zach Wilson looked pretty good in that game. He's been injured. He's come back and looked pretty good. He didn't have any touchdowns, but he had 210 yards in that game. And they played pretty well. I think they had some turnovers and stuff like that, so that always helps. But you're going to go with the Jets, huh?
Going with the Jets, underdog.
Okay. I think the Packers will probably win this game. I think it'll be close. It probably won't beat the spread. I think it'll be closer. I think the Jets will play them pretty well. But I feel like the Packers, you know, at some point, Aaron Rodgers gets it together with his receivers. And so I feel like this is a good game to start putting it together. This will be game 6, going into game 6. And I feel like they may start having some continuity between him and his receivers. And the offense starts to look a little better. I think they still struggle a little bit on offense, but I think they look better. And they start to kind of hit their stride just a little bit, and they win a close game against the Jets. All right, so the Ravens, 3-2 at the Jets, 4-1. The Giants, sorry. Ravens at the Giants, who are 4-1, who've looked pretty good so far. Giants are 5.5-point underdogs at home. The Ravens offenses look good under Lamar. The defense has struggled, though, to keep teams down. The Giants lost to the Cowboys, but they still have looked pretty good other than that loss. The Giants have the Ravens' old defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale. Do you think this gives them an advantage? What's your thoughts on this game between the Ravens and the Giants?
Man, to be honest, the Giants have played really, really good football. They played really good last week against Green Bay. They beat Chicago pretty good. Carolina, and they beat Tennessee. When I look Baltimore looks really, really good too. I mean, they barely beat Cincinnati. Yeah, the defense is struggling. But for some reason, the Giants, their offense is able to move the ball, man. Saquon Barkley's able to run the ball. And
right.
I mean, Jones has been pretty decent himself, man. So,
I mean, he gets a few yards on the ground too, you know. I think that's the thing that helps him.
Yeah.
I think they should lean hard on Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, utilize him.
He's healthy. Utilize him even more than they have been. But what are you thinking? I mean, do you think Wink Martindale has some inside word on how to beat, you know, Lamar Jackson, how to frustrate him a little bit since he was in Baltimore?
Yeah, I really think this gives the Giants the edge. And like you said with Saquon Barkley, he's carried over 97 carries, 533 yards, 3 touchdowns this season. I'm going with the grain. I'm going to take the Giants.
Oh,
by three, Giants by 3.
A close game at home, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Ravens. The Ravens are in my flow chart, number 3. This is a tough one because I feel like the Giants have played pretty well. I'm going to go with the Ravens in this game. I feel like they're going to struggle a little bit. I think this may be a little bit of a shootout. I think it'll be a higher scoring game. I would probably take the over on this game. But I think it'll be something like 28-31, something like that. Maybe not 28, but something like in that 29-31 range.
Close game,
yeah. I think Lamar has to pull it out. He has some big plays to pull it out. I don't think the defense and the Giants. I mean, I feel like it does give them a little bit of an advantage. That's why it'll be a closer game. Wink Martindale knows how to frustrate Lamar. Jackson.
Somebody said Lamar is so bad in the comments. Okay. African Pirate High. Iowa State Cyclone.
Okay. Hey, what's going on? I don't know who that is. Lamar is so bad. He's not bad. I don't know why you would say he was bad. I think he's pretty good. We'll put the chat on just to see. But yeah. How's it going? African Pirate, how are you? It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. And and then they're both from Twitch. Yeah, they're both from Twitch. Lamar's not bad. I don't know. I like him. Let's see what he says. In all honesty, I think Lamar is hurting
his stock right now. Okay. I disagree with that.
Okay.
Nah, man, Lamar's gonna be fine, man.
He should have signed a contract. That's what he's saying. He should have signed a contract right now. I can see that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's already started. He said he wasn't going to talk about it anymore, so that's kind of where he's at. I think Lamar's played pretty well. Someone says Jimmy Garoppolo is the best quarterback in the league. I don't know about that. I don't
must
think
be crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Best quarterback in the league? Come on. He's done good though. He's better than a lot of people give him credit for. So let's go. Let's keep go to another game. The Cardinals 2-3 and the Seahawks 2-3. Both teams needing a win here, I think. This is a divisional game. They have their own struggles. Seahawks looked good. Usually look good early. The Cardinals look their best in the fourth quarter usually. What are you thinking here? This is kind of the battle of the kind of middle of the roaders, for lack of a better term. But both 2-3. What are you thinking here for this game? Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks are 2.5-point underdogs there.
I'm definitely going with the Cardinals, man. The Cardinals need this win more than the Seahawks do. In order for Kyler Murray to be relevant. What? Only quarterback outperforming Jimmy. Is he crazy? And Mariota, my quarterback, has he lost his mind?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Appreciate your comments, though. Appreciate you. What are you thinking here for this game, though? Cardinals at the Seahawks.
It's a must-win for the Cardinals on the road. A must-win.
Okay.
Must-win.
I think the Seahawks, to a certain degree, they have overperformed, really. I mean, they've done better than people give them credit for. Geno Smith has looked a lot better than people would give him credit for. So I think this is pretty good as far as looking, playing well. You know, the Seahawks have played pretty solid defense. The offense has been inconsistent, but the same thing with the Cardinals. The Cardinals have a terrible defense, right? The Cardinals have a terrible defense, and I think that's what hurts them here. The Seahawks are probably going to look good on offense again just because of the Cardinals' defense is not very good. Man, I'm rooting for the Cardinals, you know, because Cliff Kingsbury is a Texas Tech alum. I hope he does well. I think the Seahawks are going to pull this game out. I think the Seahawks might win this in a close one. Yeah, I think they might pull this out. I think the Cardinals are struggling right now to find themselves, and we'll see what happens, though. It'll be a close game, I think, though. Okay, probably the game of the week now, or there's a couple of games of the week. I think the Eagles and Cowboys is going to be a game of the week, too, but this is probably even a bigger game because you got the Bills 4-1 at the Chiefs 4-1, 2.5-point underdogs at home for the home team and Mahomes. Both offense are clicking. Defense, of course, goes to the Bills as far as who has the better defense. Last year, the Bills won 28-20. The Chiefs beat them in the playoffs, though, however, in overtime. Probably the two best teams in the AFC right now, maybe even in the NFL, some might say. What are you looking at here? This is going to be a great game tomorrow. Probably the game of the year going into this week. What do you think here? This will be a great game. What are you looking at here?
Man, Mahomes is very consistent. He has a lot of weapons.
Right.
See Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce.
Right.
But the Chiefs got to find a way to keep Josh Allen from running the ball, man.
Right.
I mean, he's a beast. He can run the ball. And then he got a deep threat. And
but yeah, okay. But he's the leading rusher. Should your quarterback really be your leading rusher, though?
No.
You know what I'm saying? But
and they got Singletary, but they don't feed Singletary the rock enough to me.
Okay.
Somebody said Mecole Hardman and Juju are not weapons. The Braves just lost. Okay.
Braves are gone. Okay.
So here's my thing, man. I really feel confident with Kansas City at home. Okay. At a home crowd.
How do you feel about them being underdogs at home?
I think they're making a mistake, man.
Okay.
I'm going to go Kansas City by 7 tomorrow at home.
Oh, Kansas City by 7. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think this will be kind of a shootout. I feel like it's going to be kind of a shootout game. The Chiefs' defense struggles at times. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is 6-2 as an underdog. So he kind of relishes these moments. I feel like Patrick Mahomes plays better when they're the underdog sometimes. I feel like the Bills, even from behind, a lot of times the Chiefs play better once they fall behind. So I feel like it's going to be a really close game, a really high-scoring game. I think the Chiefs, man, I think they do pull it out in a close game. I think it may even go to overtime like the playoff game went. This will be probably the game of the year. And watch this be like a low-scoring game, like 10-17 or something. But I feel like it's going to be a little higher-scoring game. I probably get in the low 30s, and it'll be like a field goal game. I don't know if the only thing that concerns me is the Kansas City, their field goal kicker has been hurt, and that's hurt him. In a close game, that's really going to hurt you, because you got to get it closer than you think you might to get a field goal. So I don't know if Buckner. I think he might be coming back this week. Hopefully he does and he's healthy. We'll see what happens. I think Kansas City pulls out a close one. Man, I'm gonna say something like 33-30, something like that. Kind of a shootout game, 33-30. I feel like Mahomes will pull this out because he relishes in that underdog role, especially at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts there?
Hey, I'm going with them by 7, man. Kansas City at the crib, man.
All right. There you go. Let us know what you think about those games. So your old team that are behind you as you put the Falcons, the 49ers come into Atlanta. 49ers 2-3. Atlanta still 49ers 3-2, and Atlanta still 2-3. Still kind of viable there, so to speak. And what are you thinking here as far as this game? They come in as 4.5-point underdogs at home. Your old team, the Falcons. What do you think there?
Must-win game for the Falcons, man. Must-win.
Must-win game. Okay.
We got robbed last week. We played close against the Rams.
Uh-huh.
Marcus Mariota has been pretty consistent this year.
Right. Yeah.
He's won 71 for 123, 926 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Right. But we've utilized Cordero Patterson in such a way, man, that he's able to carry the ball for like almost 60 carries, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Right.
I think if the Falcons' defense is good, the defense is phenomenal.
Right.
If we can move the ball, score, and capitalize on offense, I think the Falcons got a chance to actually beat but the 49ers are good, just as good. You got Garoppolo, Deebo Samuel.
So who are you going with?
I'm going against the grain, man. I'm going to go 49ers by 3 tomorrow, man.
Who has no hair? Who are you saying? Let me say, anybody think this guy has no hair? Maybe you because you got the cap on? I don't know. You can see my hair.
Man, I don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't know, man. It's funny, though. It's funny. Appreciate the comment. All right, so, yeah, I think you guys, I don't know. You guys have played, well, your old team, I'm going to say you guys because you're a Cowboy fan now, but you guys have been up and down, and you've been almost in every single game. You've lost close games, but you've been in the game. There's no game that you've been blown out. So I don't feel like the 49ers are going to blow you out in any sense. Tampa Bay blew you out, a little bit. It was a close game, though. You guys, like I said, got a bad call on that quarterback, and you could end up winning that game or at least making it close.
They crazy, whoever that is.
I know, these people are crazy. I appreciate the comments, though. I don't know what are you talking about? Put the link away, Cracker Jack. I don't know what link. What link you talking about?
It's crazy, man.
Oh, this link, the YouTube link. Anyway, yeah. So I feel like your team's actually going to play pretty well. I feel like this game's going to be close again. You guys have played everybody close. You lost a close one to New Orleans first, 26-26. That one, I feel like you guys should have won that one against New Orleans. Against LA, you guys were behind early, so y'all had to come back. So that was a tough one to win. And then you beat Seattle and you beat Cleveland, who I think Cleveland's actually a solid team. I think Cleveland's pretty good, even with Jacoby Brissett. Of course, they'd be a lot better with Deshaun Watson, but even with Jacoby Brissett, Cleveland's a pretty decent team. They have a good defense. So I feel like, man, I'm going for the upset. I think you guys are going to upset San Francisco.
Whoa!
You guys are going to win a close one. 1-point game. I feel you guys are going to get a close one. Finally win a close game. You guys have been close all year long on these close games. I think you guys are going to finally, at home, you guys are going to revenge that bad call against Tampa Bay and come back with a win. You guys go 3-3. That's what I got. All right. All right, so I appreciate the comments. It's going to be so unbelievably bad when he comes back. Oh, I don't know why he's going to be bad. He might be a little rusty, though. I don't know if he's going to be unbelievably bad. He'll be rusty for sure when he comes back. So.
What do you say?
That Sean's going to be unbelievably bad. Oh.
The next man, don't read the next one, man. That sounds crazy.
How do you feel about Justin Fields?
I think Fields is a great quarterback.
Okay.
They should have won the game Thursday night, but their offense was horrible. And the Commanders' defense, held them up at the end.
I feel like they haven't gotten him any weapons. You know what I mean? Justin Fields is kind of out there by himself. They haven't gotten him any weapons, so that's why I feel like, Justin is struggling because he doesn't have. Who's his top receiver? Who's his best receiver? I don't even know his receivers. I don't even know if he's got any good receiver. I don't.
Watson.
Watson.
I
don't know, but
you said your son Watson. He got your guy.
My guy.
He came from Dallas, the receiver. Cooper. Yeah, Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. He's with the Cleveland.
Cleveland. But you said who Watson is going to throw it to? You said he's rusty.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about somebody else. I was talking about Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about Dustin Fields. He didn't have nobody to throw to. He was talking about Dustin Fields earlier.
No, he lost Allen Richardson and all those guys, man.
All right, now it's time for our Dallas Cowboys. We them boys. That's right. Dallas Cowboys against the Eagles. The Cowboys 4-1. The Eagles 5-0. They're 6.5-point favorites at home. The Eagles are. What are your thoughts here on this game? This will be on Sunday night. Is it Sunday night or Monday night?
Sunday night.
Sunday night, yeah. So this will be tomorrow night. You want to say predictions for tomorrow? We can do it now. And talk about it later. But you can give our prediction now.
Right now?
What are you thinking?
Man, it's hard to say. At this point, I think I'm going to lean toward Dallas. Mm-hmm. I think Cooper Rush is going to have a breakout game. He's going to have a breakout game. I think your defense has been pretty solid. They're going to hold up pretty good. I think this is going to be a challenge for Philly, man. Philly's going to take their first L tomorrow. I'm going to go Dallas by 10 tomorrow night.
What? Dallas by 10? Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Man. Cooper Rush. Just so much of me, man. It just feels so much like Cooper, he's played within himself. That's the good thing about Cooper. He's played within himself,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he continues to do that. I feel like he's got an expiration date. I feel like Cooper Rush is gonna look more like a backup soon, And it's just, I just feel like the defense is gonna have to carry us again. I don't think that the Eagles have played a defense as good as ours.
Nobody. They haven't.
The Eagles' line is a little banged up, so I think that gives us an advantage because we got a good front four. So I think this might be a lower scoring game. I feel like this could be a lower scoring game, probably something along the lines of 26-23 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe we hold. No one scored more than 20 points on Dallas this year.
That's a good thing.
Realize that. So I think they score maybe 20 points. Maybe they get 23 and we get 26, but we're going to stay ahead of them, just ahead of them, I think. And I think the Cowboys pull this one out in a close one, going down to the end, under the wire. I think it'll be like a 20-23 game, maybe a 23-26 game, going down to the end of the wire. I think we win by a field goal. This will be a close game. I think the defense comes up with a big stop at the end to help us win this game, and we pull this game out, and we end up being the top of the NFC East. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, we'll see what happens. So, all right, so that's it, man. Any final thoughts? Anything you got? What are you thinking?
Let's close out tomorrow night, man. We can do a pregame closeout pregame before yours.
Hey, yeah, we can do a closeout tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have a closeout game for NFL. We appreciate everybody commenting, liking, doing all that stuff. Hey, please don't do that, man. Come on.
Who's that?
Don't be doing that. Some guy.
Yeah, I saw it,
Come on, man. Be civil. All right, so we appreciate you watching the game, commenting, all that good stuff. Thanks for everything. I appreciate all your comments and likes and all that stuff. But let's keep it civil. Let's not be
civil, right?
Yeah, come on. But yeah, hey, we'll see you next time. We'll be in the NFL. We're gonna do an NFL wrap up tomorrow evening, right before kind of a Sunday night football preview. We'll wrap up all the games from Sunday, see what happened, kind of talk about what happened, and go from there. We appreciate you.
All right, bro.
We'll see you next time on the bottom line, baby.
I'll see you tomorrow night, bro.
All right.
All right.
Hey, enjoy at the tailgate.